Our task at the moment is to find the x and y intercepts of these three equations. So let's start off with A. And we have y equals x to the fourth minus 2x squared minus 8. And let's start by finding the y-intercept. To do that, we'll let x take on the value of 0. So if x is 0, this term will vanish, this term will vanish, and we will be left with y equals negative 8. So we'll graph that 0, negative 8. Now we'll find the x-intercepts, and to do that we'll let y equals 0. If that's the case, then x to the fourth minus 2x squared minus 8 equals 0. Now this factors. So x squared, we chose x squared, and x squared is the two leading terms in each of these factors because the product of x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. Now the factors of 8 are 2 and 4, and we'll let 4 take on the negative and 2 take the positive. Now let's check this out. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. 2x squared minus 4x squared is negative 2x squared. So we have factored this correctly. Now, this factor does not factor x squared plus 2. But this factor is the difference of two squares, and that does factor, and we get x minus 2 and x plus 2. Now, our next task is to find the zeros of each of these factors. Well, there's no real number, nothing in the realm of real numbers we can replace x with here such that this factor will become 0. On the other hand, if we let x equal 2, this factor will become 0. If we let x equal negative 2, this factor will go to 0. And the product of 0 and any other number or set of numbers, factors, equals 0. So our x-intercepts are 2 and negative 2. The points, of course, are negative 2, 0, and 2, 0, and we are done. Well, equation B is y equals the absolute value of x minus 2. And again, let's find the y-intercept. So always to do that, we'll let x equals 0 and solve. And when we do that, letting x equals 0, this term becomes 0, and we have y equals negative 2. And again, let's graph this as we go along. So go down here to 0, negative 2. Now to find the x-intercepts, we always let y equals 0. If that's the case, then the absolute value of x minus 2 equals 0. Solving for the absolute value of x, we'll add 2 to both sides, and we get the absolute value of x equals 2. And the solutions for that are x equals plus or minus 2. Now check it out. What is the absolute value of positive 2? It's 2. What's the absolute value of negative 2? It is 2. So that works. So let's graph these. 2, 0, and negative 2, 0. And all we're doing is graphing the intercepts. Here they are, the two x-intercepts and the y-intercept, and we are done. Finally, we'll find the x and y-intercepts of equation C. That is x squared plus 3y squared equals 12. So let's find the y-intercepts first. To do that, as always, we'll let x equals 0 and solve for y. If x equals 0, this term disappears and we have 3y squared equals 12. Dividing both sides by 3, we get y squared equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. And now by the square root property, we know that y equals plus or minus 2. Now notice if you square negative 2, you get 4. If you square 2, you get 4. So our y-intercepts are 0, 2, and 0, negative 2. Now to find the x-intercepts, as always, we'll let y equals 0 and solve. If y equals 0, this second term will vanish, and we'll be left with x squared equals 12. That is, x squared equals 4 times 3. So x equals plus or minus, the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of 3 is the square root of 3. These are our two x-intercepts. So here we are at 2 root 3, 0, and negative 2 root 3, 0. We have two y-intercepts, two x-intercepts, and we are done.